Green meetings and events. The Convention Industry Council defines green events. A green meeting or event incorporates environmental considerations to minimize its negative impact on the environment. More and more government entities, such as municipal agencies, are requiring event planners to follow certain practices to make events and meetings green. Harvard Law School's Event Scheduling and Support Office integrates green policies into all the events held on campus. And the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation is on the cutting edge of greening events at city parks and facilities. Following are 17 easily integrated ways they recommend for greening your event. 1. Provide recycling. Some of the venues you use will have recycling policies in place on the property, which will make it easy for you to piggyback your green recycling efforts on top of their practices. However, many properties still have not included recycling in their daily practices for any number of reasons: lack of interest, absence of convenient recycling facilities and services, or lack of awareness, to name a few. If you choose a venue that does not already recycle, you'll need to obtain the service for the duration of your event. This includes identifying and contracting with a waste management service that will deliver and remove recycling containers, and educating your attendees about the importance of using them and what can and should be recycled, such as boxes, including pizza boxes, plastic and paper plates and cups, metal food containers such as takeout meal trays, newspaper, copy paper, etc. You also need to tell them that they must be emptied of food and other contents, and that plastic utensils, all types of foam, and napkins are not yet recyclable in most places. Effective recycling requires that you, the meeting planner, make it easy and convenient for the guests, and that the importance of following the event recycling program is paramount. 2. Provide recycling monitors. Before you begin to plan a meeting, impress upon your client the importance of greening the event and setting aside some of the budget for green practices, such as having a team dedicated to monitoring and enforcing green policies. For example, your green team should have a number of staff members or volunteers who monitor the recycling areas and help facilitate proper recycling. These individuals, well worth paying for if volunteers are not available, will educate attendees on the program and its importance and make sure waste is properly separated. You may be able to obtain a volunteer group from an area youth organization, high school, or college program that promotes environmentally friendly practices. 3. Promote a clear anti-litter message. Although littering is not typically a problem at indoor events, people tend to be casual about their trash when in large crowds, especially in parks and coliseums. The first step in litter prevention is education. Make sure your event attendees are well aware that the event organizers have a zero tolerance for littering. Second, make sure trash disposal is easy and convenient and right next to the recycling containers. Finally, by nature, human beings tend not to trash up a place that is kept clean and attractive. Have your team set a good example by keeping restrooms immaculate, picking up trash wherever they see it, and generally setting an excellent cleanliness example. 4. Use low-emission or biofuel generators. If your event requires auxiliary power, contract with vendors and power supply companies that use renewable energy systems. Many convention, fair, carnival, and trade show exhibitors and vendors have already integrated alternative energy systems. Contract with them first. Then source contractors who will provide biodiesel generators. There are many such companies specializing in green temporary energy equipment. Using their services and products greens your event and sets a good example. 5. Conserve energy. Conserving energy at an event requires creativity and commitment. First, make your guests aware of the ways they can conserve energy: turning off lights and televisions in their hotel rooms when they're not in them, walking or bicycling between event venues instead of driving, turning off in-room air conditioners and heaters when absent. As a meeting planner, you need to fight the urge to use loads of audio-visual equipment that gives great effects but isn't actually critical. Use as little lighting as possible. Ask your presenters to turn off most of the lights when a meeting room empties out. Have only essential equipment running in the event office, etc. Planning ahead for energy conservation and building attendee awareness of its importance is good for the planet, and it's great for additional event publicity. 6. Promote public and alternative transportation. Before the event starts, provide your attendees with detailed information about public and alternative transportation options. Send them this information electronically whenever possible and make it available on your website. Also make a point of providing incentives for using public and alternative transportation. Have bikes available for them to use at the venue, leave enough time between sessions for walking to and from them, and obtain discount passes from public transportation companies to give to your guests. Incentivize them to leave their personal vehicles valet parked for the duration of the event and use shuttles provided by the venue or your client instead. 7. Use hybrid electric or natural gas vehicles and machinery. Most companies that rent equipment such as golf carts, shuttle buses, and transportation vehicles offer electric or hybrid options. Use these whenever possible and publicize them highly to your attendee base. One of the best ways to do this is attach signage to them that says something to the effect of, "By using this vehicle at this event, we are saving X amount of energy a day." Not only will this green choice be the right one, the messaging will increase the support and loyalty of your guests for your green initiative. 8. Offer healthy, local, and sustainable food options. When you work with your food and beverage contractors, ask them to use as much locally grown and produced organic products then you are making a significant impact in reducing your event's carbon footprint. First, you are helping small businesses thrive. Community-based businesses use less transportation when marketing their products, thus reducing energy use and pollution. You are also helping these businesses reduce the use of toxins in food growing and production. Furthermore, you're helping improve the overall health of your guests by feeding them healthy options and encouraging them to continue these practices at home. 9. Donate leftover food and supplies. Whether you have excess food and beverage from the food services at your event or a surplus of office supplies, don't let them go to waste, end up in a landfill, or increase your carbon footprint because you ship them back to your headquarters. From food banks to homeless shelters, school lunch programs to classrooms, there are many outlets for your event surplus that both help the local community, increase positive publicity for your event, and most of all, effectively recycle and reuse even perishable goods left over from the occasion. 10. Provide alternatives to bottled water and other beverages. As of 2010, on average, every American throws out 167 plastic water bottles a year. These products never degrade completely, but do put toxins into our soil and water supply. If you are unable to do anything else as a green initiative at your event, do away with plastic beverage containers. Your venue and food and beverage contractors can supply any beverages you need in reusable glass containers, and the amount you may spend for this service will help keep $1 billion worth of plastic waste from going into just America's landfills each year. 11. Reduce waste from packaging materials. If your event requires a guest to stay overnight, use a hotel venue that incorporates bulk dispensers rather than individually wrapped products, soap for example, and incorporate the same practices into your policies. If you are giving out attendee packages with gifts, make sure they do not come individually wrapped. Use reusable totes made of biodegradable materials, and have all items shipped in bulk, not as single-serve items. 12. Ask the venue to follow all the conservation and green policies you have established for your event. Request that they reuse towels and soaps, etc., in the rooms until the guests indicate they want a replacement or the item is gone, and require that they must not use styrofoam products and other items that cannot be recycled. Also ask that they implement a trash composting program. On average, 60% of hotel and other venue trash is organic and can be composted. 13. Use reusable signage. Do everything you can to make your signage evergreen by leaving off dates and event specifics whenever possible. This way you can use parking and registration signs at many events, for example, and your event-specific signs and banners can be used at each annual event until they wear out. Make sure to impress upon your team the importance of packing these gently and well between events so they stay in good condition and can be used over and over again. 14. Limit printed promotional marketing and informational materials. Use email and your website as much as possible for getting information to your attendees, the press, and other interested parties. The less paper you use, whether commercially printed or for daily updates on site, the better. If you must use paper, include a message on each piece that there are recycle bins at the event, and it is requested that all paper products from the event be deposited in them. 15. Use recycled paper and other products. Although recycled materials have traditionally been more expensive and sometimes cost prohibitive to use, the pricing gap is closing, and the additional expense, if any, is worth it. Recycled products appropriate for events include paper, paper towels, carpeting, calendars, packaging, plastic trash bags, envelopes, copy paper, furniture, desktop accessories, toner cartridge, and even giveaways and rewards. 16. Publicize the environmental measures taken at your event. It can't be emphasized enough that informing your attendees and the press of your green initiatives and the importance thereof is vital to its success and growing the trend to environmentally friendly meetings and events. Partner with your client, guests, and the media to set a good example of green convening and make doing this the right thing a win-win for all. 17. Provide physical activity. Not only does the planet need to be sustained, so do the people on it, including your attendees. Along with providing locally produced and organic food and beverage, create opportunities for your guests to be physical between event sessions. This will keep them alert, improve their circulation, help alleviate medical crises at the event, and increase the impact your green initiative has on them. As of 2008, only 25 to 30% of event planners integrated green practices in their events. However, just one average-size hotel and conference center can recycle up to 270,000 pounds of cardboard, 55,000 pounds of paper, and 350,000 pounds of cans and plastic bottles, while composting just over 1 million tons of organic waste annually. As environmental policies become regulations and laws, you can expect to be required to green your event and contribute to similar planet-healthy programs at each one. Green all your events now. It's the right thing to do.